Okay, we're live. Welcome. IWR, episode 2. As always, call or text 785-363-5045. Tips, comments, feedback, really anything you want. We're here for you 24/7. We'll look forward to your call. Yeah, where are we starting today? I mean, I had something, I was looking at I was watching Tucker Carlson recently, and he was talking about the situation down in Texas and how the sort of, the outages that people are experiencing down there, and
Because
how
of the winter storm, right?
the winter storm. Yeah, exactly. There was the winter storm. And what he's saying was that the cause of that was, I mean, he was talking about like because of the Green New Deal, but I think what he was getting at, like what was behind that was sort of this idea that renewable energy was the cause of these outages, and that like renewable energy is unreliable. And I had no idea. I didn't know. I mean, it's like I didn't. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I heard the same thing on Hannity when he had Governor Abbott on, the governor of Texas, who also said for some reason that renewable energy or the Green New Deal was the cause of the outages, which is strange because the Green New Deal isn't really law yet, as my understanding. And it's also a state issue, which I don't think the Republicans in Texas passed that. So that's just a gut check right there. But yeah, I heard the same thing, Duke. So I guess the question is like, did the power grid in Texas fail because of renewable energy?
Did the power grid in Texas fail because of renewable energy? I mean,
in a winter storm.
First of all, does Texas actually have renewable energy? I mean, apparently it does, but I was pretty surprised to hear that Texas had renewable energy. I think Texas
I thought they were all about that black gold Texas tea.
Yeah. I was born on Texas soil, so I can relate to that.
Well,
I mean, we're not actually oil money for what it's worth, but
and neither is my family, but we've got a lot of connections to Texas too. My dad grew up in Waco. My aunt was born there, lives in Austin, loved Texas. And I thought so too. I thought it was all about oil.
Yeah. My favorite thing about Texas is their tacos, but
let's maybe we actually want to just answer that question first.
This question?
No. Well, first of all, does Texas have renewable energy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I wonder if,
I mean,
right.
Yeah,
you just search that.
Okay.
But what percentage, maybe? Like, they probably have some, but like, what percentage?
Well, that first site is from the what's EIA?
It looks like a government website, the U.S. Energy something or other.
Yeah, this is here. Hold on, I found something.
So this
post it in our notes. Okay.
Yeah, done. Here we go. So this is from the state of Texas themselves, from the comptroller. And if you scroll down, scroll down. There's a chart.
Oh, here we go. Great.
And so I'm kind of shocked by this chart, actually, because it has natural gas and coal, and then
which I expected.
Which you expected, but wind is third, 20%, and nuclear is fourth at 10%. So they do have a lot of renewable energy.
Right.
And particularly wind, huge amounts of wind.
Right. Okay. So are we thinking about wind? That's what we're going to look at here. Like we're going to focus on wind energy, or are we focusing on renewable energy broadly speaking? Like, are we thinking about hydro, solar?
Given the fact that 20%, and which is the highest, is wind, if we can see that wind failed as a result and caused the experience that's currently happening in Texas, that would put us in a good position to answer the question we posed originally. So I think we should go in and look at wind energy and how it exists in cold temperatures or during like winter storms.
So a good question is, like, are there countries in like the Arctic Circle that use wind energy?
And even Canada's pretty cold.
Yeah.
Reliable on wind energy? Are there countries?
What?
Relying on?
What? Just say like, can wind energy work in cold countries?
Like,
What are you doing, Duke?
Oh, sorry.
Is there wind energy in cold countries? I don't know.
Is there wind energy in cold countries?
Sure.
All right.
But you know what I like? You know what I like about this
What?
is that this isn't a question about. This is just sort of a logical question. You know,
Mhm.
we're kind of stepping back and not even thinking about like what caused, you know, the outage in Texas. We're actually just stepping back and saying, wait a minute, can wind work in the cold? Which is, I think, a much simpler, you know, question to answer as a starting point here than starting at that immediate question. So I like that we've done that a lot.
Okay. So apparently other people asked the same question. Do wind turbines work in cold weather?
So let's try to find an article that's from a little further back. We don't really want something that was written as a response to this, just because that is a little sus. So
Yep.
Yep. Well, there's one
Yeah,
right
and there's
here.
that one that says it like Sweden shows Texas how it works. So I guess that there must be wind turbines in Sweden, which is in the Arctic Circle. Okay, but that was published only a few days ago. So yeah, I like that question.
This
Does
one.
it?
No.
Yeah.
in Canada, the wind energy in cold climates. It's from December 21, 2017.
This one here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
What's this from? Oh, it's from the Canadian government. Okay.
All right, so it says, look, there are some challenges not present in warmer locations for running wind energy, so good to know.
You have to take the ice off them. So that makes sense. And sometimes you might shut them down to prevent equipment failure.
Yeah, but look at this here. It says in that third paragraph, some turbines, so with the installation of cold weather packages, et cetera, some turbines.
Yeah, if you could highlight that, Duke, that would be great. With the installation, it's perfect.
Okay, wind turbine manufacturers are increasingly recognizing the impacts of cold climate operation and are building turbines better equipped to handle winter conditions. With the installation of cold weather packages, which provide heating to turbine components such as the gearbox, yaw, and pitch motors and battery, sub-turbines can operate in temperatures down to negative 30 degrees Celsius.
That's really cold.
Incredibly cold.
Yeah, but did the ones in Texas have this technology? Because assuming somebody who's building a wind turbine in Texas isn't counting for 30 degrees Celsius, negative 30 degrees Celsius temperatures, like did whoever installed the wind turbines in Texas, did they have that built into those ones?
And when you say that, what do you mean? Like a jacket? Or are you talking about like what is the that?
I'm not talking about the cold weather packages.
These so did the wind turbines in Texas have a cold weather package?
And it, by the way, for those who don't use Celsius, negative 30 degrees Celsius is negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's really
Super
cold.
cold.
What is
Yeah.
it? Negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit? What did you say?
Negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit.
Super cold.
Got
Yeah,
it.
and I don't think it was that cold in Texas. So we're talking with these packages, they're talking about really equipping them for like Arctic storms. And I don't think that it was negative 22 below in Texas.
Interesting. There's this article here that just categorically says, if you scroll up, it says no, frozen wind turbines aren't to blame for the Texas power outage. I mean, I don't know if we were looking into that.
It's Texas Tribune. I mean, like
They're a solid local newspaper from what I hear.
okay.
Yeah, nonprofit.
Yep.
Okay.
So
I don't
this is
know if they're
interesting.
like far left or far right or something, but it seems like they are interested in this question.
For sure. Let's scroll down and see if there's a graph or a chart or something like that. Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. No?
No, because that isn't by source. Let's see if there's one by source. I think I saw one of those on the internet the other day.
by source.
Yeah. Well,
What
it's okay. I'll see if I can find it, but maybe we should parse this article a little bit.
Okay. So
There, frozen wind turbines in Texas caused some conservative state politicians to declare on Tuesday the state was relying too much on renewable energy. But really, wind power is expected to make up only a fraction of what the state had used. So
it's, yeah.
Texas is mostly a gas state. So, and I would wonder too, like, okay, your wind goes offline, but does that really account? Like, don't you have a backup? Like, can't the natural gas pipelines work, or the coal, or the whatever else? That would, like, isn't there enough?
Right, because okay, so this is what happens when you force the grid to rely in part on wind as power source. Okay, that's what Dan Crenshaw is saying. When weather conditions get bad as they did this week, intermittent renewable energy like wind isn't there when you need it. So it's like the question then is like, does Texas have?
Well, hold on. First of all, intermittent renewable energy like wind absolutely can be there when you need it if you take the necessary precautions. And I think, the bigger question, I'm just going to say this out loud. It sounds like a bunch of these politicians got caught not preparing properly and are just making excuses. And I think there's a bigger question here, which is, why wasn't Texas prepared for it? That if we follow that, might not necessarily have the result that these politicians want.
Yeah, did the gas fail? Did the coal fail?
Exactly.
Like,
What actually
gas
failed?
and coal fail in cold weather.
That's right. That's a great question.
Maybe that's the next.
Did the gas?
No, can gas and cold fail in cold weather?
Can gas
and
coal power
fail in cold climates? Okay.
So a lot of this is all about what happened in Texas. But here, check this out. No, there was an article from 2014. Scroll down. Right there. Sure. Freezing cold put coal, natural gas plants in a crunch. And that's ERCOT. That's Texas again in 2014.
Cold snaps.
Oh, here we go.
Interesting.
Freezing cold temperatures caused several power plants to trip or fail around the state. Whoa, I don't.
And I just want to say, this is the Dallas Business Journal. So this is a organization that definitely has the interests of Texas's oil industry at heart, because they are a business journal operating in Texas. And this is from 2014. It's from years ago, way before this ever happened.
I mean, this was from the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, ERCOT.
That is their effectively their electric utility.
It reminded me of Epcot, or like Disney.
Not as fun. Not nearly as fun.
ERCOT does not have Belgian waffles prepared for you.
Do they have tacos? Do they have breakfast tacos?
No,
that's all
they will.
I really
will let you sip the oil. They'll let you sip the oil.
Okay, but they say frozen instrumentation and failed equipment were the biggest culprits,
contributing to 65% of megawatts lost. I mean,
wait, but keep going. Natural gas and different boilers, 66% of megawatts unavailable during the cold weather. So this is, what I'm talking about, politicians covering up for their failures. This happened before in 2014 when there was presumably much less renewable energy than there is today, and same problems, and they haven't fixed it. Come on.
Sierra Club quote right here, right before the keep business going. It says the Sierra Club was quick to pounce on this new data, saying this proves that renewable energy is more reliable during extreme weather events. So the exact opposite conclusion to what we do right here. Yeah, you got it, Duke.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like, I mean, you have the Sierra Club, and then you have Epcot or ERCOT is saying that, I mean, it's, I think the quick to pounce is a sort of a good, is sort of well said. I mean, they're quick to pounce, but I think that this part of it for me feels really sort of meaningful. Is just that in the past, energy failed in Texas during cold during cold climates in 2014, and those power sources were coal and natural gas.
And so I guess like our question is like this recent blackout wasn't necessarily caused by the failure of wind. It was also probably caused by the failure of coal and natural gas and the lack of preparation
That's
to,
right.
de-ice the wind turbines or prepare those factories or of power plants for the cold. So
Well,
it seems that this is just an excuse from politicians to say, oh, let's blame this competitive energy source, wind, so that our black cold Texas tea types don't get the heat, so to speak, for this icy incident.
that's
Right.
right. Now I'd like to just do one more
Yeah.
sort of check on this and just say, now that we know that it happened in the past, did that happen this time too? Did the oil and natural gas plants shut down during um, during this particular cold streak? And I have a link that I'll paste that I found from the Houston Chronicle.
In the notes, can you post in the notes?
Yeah, I'll put it in the notes here, right here. That basically says, that they all of that, right? Like oil and gas and refineries all shut down during the cold. And I think that was the cause of
I can't read
power
that.
outages.
Oh, here we go.
Well, we got a little taste of it there. They had to curtail or shut down their operations because of the colds, because of unprecedented freezing temperatures, shutting down the Port Arthur refinery. So we might not be able to read it because of the paywall right now, but
Oh,
I
shoot.
think it's pretty clear that this cold shut down renewables and fossil fuels,
That's right.
and for a variety of reasons. So it's really unfair for them to blame one particular type of energy source that only accounts for 20%. So I
Yeah.
think we have the answer to our question.
I
We might
do.
still,
Well,
We-
I wanted to just add one thing.
Yeah.
I think that Arthur's earlier point, the thing that this is kind of showing us is that like this conversation around renewables causing the power grid issue and the power outage in Texas is really about people trying to cover or find an explanation that suits kind of the moment for them. And it's got to be more about, in my opinion, what I care about is that the people in Texas have the energy they need when it is cold to be able to protect themselves. And what this is saying here is that depending on what year it is and who you're listening to, it's either natural or more traditional energy sources. And so I think here we have a situation where, to your point, Amelie, we have the culprit for this kind of changing just depending on who's talking about it and how many, like, depending on the news source. So it's just kind of flip-flopping.
got it. So I think in terms of, we have an answer to our question. We might not know why, like the political, business, or policy reasons that they didn't prep for cold weather like this. I guess as Duke was showing, average temperatures in Texas don't really reach snowing levels that often. But who knows? Maybe in the future this could happen more, and people just really need to have backups. So
Yeah. It's like if you look at the history of Texas, I mean, we can look at the sort of temperatures and see, but like, yeah, the state wasn't prepared. It has happened before, like it's happened before, and it's just like, I mean, it's really common sense, if I go outside and it's cold, I like bring my winter weather package. And just like that, just like that earlier article was saying, it's like, wind turbines need winter weather packages, And so it's like, when it's cold, wear a coat. And that's the sort of thing. I mean, it's really like that sort of simple. And so like, if we're going to take anything from this, it's just like, it's going to get cold in Texas. Weather is weird. It's getting weird. And we should start to prepare for weird weather by wearing a coat on our wind turbines.
Right. But even more importantly, I think, and just stepping back for a second, wind turbines weren't the cause. They can work in cold weather. And even though they shut down some, oil and natural gas, as we saw from what happened in 2014, and coal are a much bigger source of energy in Texas, and they're the ones that seem to have failed. So it's not just that they didn't prepare, and they're the ones that failed in 2014. So it's not just that they didn't, bring their coats for the turbines. It's that they didn't bring their coats for anybody, and the state wasn't prepared. It happened before, they got caught. These politicians got caught, and they used green energy as a scapegoat, and that's what we're seeing here. And
I
that's
guess Texas
disappointing.
doesn't have coats because they're not used to cold weather.
Well,
But
That's right.
But now weather's weird. Let's get a coat.
That's right. Let's prepare for more events like this, and make
so
sure that
someone
we don't.
call up Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity and the governor and say, "Hey, it's all y'all."
If someone has Tucker Carlson's number, can you please call 785-363-5054 or
No, 5045.
listen, I'm stumbling today. I'm stumbling and bumbling. It's
It's
okay.
all good, Duke.
All right.
Read it again. Read that number one more time, Duke.
It's 785-363-5045. That's IWR. We're here for you 24/7.